St. Thomas is a parish that is in a cluster of churches in the middle of Sioux City. Sioux City is a town of about altogether 100,000 in the total municipal area, 85,000 in Sioux City. And within that cluster that is in the center of town, that cluster of churches, there are a number of older parishes. The buildings are beautiful, but some of the neighborhoods around those churches have begun to change. The parish being more than 100 years old and in its current location is one that has, first of all, made the decision that it wants, that the folks who are there want to stay where they are. And that's a really big deal because it means that they're becoming committed, in a sense, to their neighbors. But there was this one nut laying in the middle of everything, and that was how quickly we were eating away at our endowment. I was told by our then senior warden and by the person who was associated to the Treasury ministry, who had gone out to visit with ECBF and with some people in our diocese, that this was a program that, if followed, would present some venues for creating alternative revenue streams. And so the way I kind of phrased that for people was, look, we're paying a lot of money to heat and insure our building, to make sure that it's safe for people to use, to keep it beautiful and up to date, and it's largely sitting empty. So what are we doing? Recasting is like recasting your vision. What this process did is it brought in independent authority that said, you really need, for the sake of who you are, the people of God and Sioux City, to look at this very closely. And having done that and then arrived at some of these solutions like the toffee, it pushed the momentum ahead immeasurably. And we find ourselves now much more on the positive side of our talk. It's not that there are not challenges that remain. It's just that none of them feels surmountable. The idea for the toffee came about simultaneously with the process. It was a parallel movement. I think Chris, who had been doodling on her bulletin one Sunday morning, was thinking about something like this as a potential fundraiser, perhaps for a craft sale. And we found that it was so good and it was so clearly in line with our goals for being a potential alternative revenue stream that we just needed to pick it up and keep going with it. The ECBF was very important to our work and in fact remain important. But I think I am definitely more optimistic about the future than I was before we began working with the fund. I was happy and optimistic, and I still am, but I think I am even more realistically optimistic about my appraisal of the future for the congregation that I serve. And as a member of the clergy, I've gotten some skills that I can take with me wherever I go too.